without getting near to the end of the first season of Apple's World Cup, we take a little diversion into the B Week, or into the Showdown, which is what we call Big Showdown here. But yeah, where 16 teams are gonna try to not finish in the bottom four, because if you finish in the bottom four, you'll be staying in the Showdown for the next season in the B Week. I'm just gonna call it B Week. And will not be invited to the season to qualifiers, and that's not good because you want to qualify, don't you? So yeah, so there are the 16 teams that are gonna try to not get into the bottom four, and there you can see that the teams in the A week are now the ones in the stands. So they'll form new expansion teams for next season. They're also watching, instead, of course, the VIPs. But yeah, without further ado, let the B week begin.
Alright, and we're immediately starting off this with Black Widows, Pain Splatters, Deep Forest, and Sly Slimes, and they're off. And yeah, that was a pretty comfortable victory for Red Back with Black Widows. For Jungle, the captain of the Deep Forest, will advance as well, and Slimo just dipped spray for the 94 consolation round. Yeah, G2, Clarity, Nakaos, Mist, and Skynet. And off they go, and that was who knows? Pretty, yeah, that was Clarity from Empty Orbs who won that. Well, you can see there. And Mist from Twisted Nebulous will advance as well alongside with them. Heat 3. Rainbow Vortexes, Blue Smokes, Egypt Pharaohs, and Panic Attackers. And they're off. Blue Smokes really weak, but I think Panic Attackers will overtake them at the end. Doesn't matter as they both will move on from this heat. And yeah, Frenzy overtook Smoke Bow at the end, but they will move on anyway. And now Heat 4. Death Valleys, Navy Seals, Arctic Fossil, and Chili Peppers will be the final team moving on to the next round. And oh, that was very good. Okay. Chili Pepper moved on, and Scraff is out, but between Foxo and Pierre, I have no idea. As we take a look at this, and by a hair is gonna be Navy Seals. Foxo just cannot do it, and the Arctic Foxes fans are not happy at all as we have our playoff or 13th to 16th place playoff match. You see the Rainbow Vortexes will take the win in front of Team Parrot. The Death Valleys and Pain Splatters will start off the the B week in a bad way. So now we have our 9th to 12th playoff match. And you can see there, and I think, yeah, that was Skyball who will take the 9th place. Every point matters. You need to remember that. Every point from this matters. Because it could be that one point that could make the difference for you, for your team. Now we have semi-final 8. Twisted Nebulous, Black Widows, Blue Smokes, and Navy Seals. And they're off. Oh, and that was that was an incredible pass by Pierre at the end. Blue Smokes will move on. But you can see there, Pierre just actually missed out of it. So Navy Seals and Blue Smokes off to the final. Now semi-final will be Panic Attackers, Chili Peppers, Empty Orbs, and Deep Forest will be the next one. That was a pretty handy victory from Clarity from the of the Empty Orbs. Frenzy from Panic Attackers will move on as well. Unfortunately for Chili Pepper and Jungle, it's the end of the road for them in this event. So now we have our 5th race playoff match. Who will take 5th, who will take 6th, and who will take 7th? Well, Redback, they're playing Black Widows, will take 5th. Deep Forest will take 6th. Chili Peppers will take 7th, and Twisted Nebulous will start off at 8. Not bad for any of these. That's a good start, I say, for them. But now the final. Smoke Ball, Frenzy, Pierre, and Clarity. Who will win this tournament of the B Week, and by a very handy way, Frenzy from the Panic Attackers will take the first event. You'll see that Pierre from the Navy Seals will take 2nd, Frenzy is the MTO will take 3rd, and Smoke Ball will take 4th. And Panic Attackers will start off this B week in a high note, in a very high way, so yeah, that's good. As well as Navy Seals and Empty Orbs, who are all looking to at least make it through to the qualifiers of Apple's World Cup Season 2, and of course, whoever wins the showdown gets an automatic bye to Apple's Marvel Cup Season 2 as well. So yeah, you're going to see their Panic Attackers obviously with the Navy SEALs, MP Orcs, Blue Smokes, and Black Widows round up the top 5, while Rainbow Vortexes, Team Parrot, Death Bowies, and Paint Splatters are currently in the relegation zone. Can they get out? Well, let's find out in our next event, which will be Quartet Jump, which is going to be coming up right now. So here's our first heat, Chili Peppers. Just missed out on qualification for Apple's Mario Cup Season 1. They were 1 point behind the Exploding Creepers in qualifying. And also, you can see the Quartet Jump hopefully has been fixed so we can see some more high scores. Because there were some terrible ones in the main week. Yeah, hopefully we have improved on all that. But yeah, I'm sorry for the terrible graphics as well. But Chili Peppers got a 16. That would have been second in the main week, so that just shows. Paint Splatters who also just missed out on qualification. They finished watching the last event and oh dear. That did not look good. I think I saw a 0 there, and I think those were 3 greets. I think. It is a green. That is tied for the worst overall run in Quartet Jump history in the Apple's World Cup. Also with Asteroid Slammers one in the A-Week. That is atrocious for the Paint Splatters. They are definitely taking last in this event for the second time in a row in this showdown, in this B-Week, sorry. This most is on it. We have 4th place finish. That actually looked like a very good run. But we will have to see if it is or not, of course. Like, we can't just assume. But just looking, the stats will tell us. And in fact, it's actually a new record at 21. Smashes Russian Rose's record for the main week. As now we have Skyballs, who did all atrocious in the Season 1 qualifiers, only picking up 4 points in 4 events. They are looking to redeem themselves, but I don't think that was anything out of this world. I don't think anything impressive came out of there, but yeah, you never know. And yeah, it's an 11, which puts them in 3rd, but that's a pretty low score. But we'll find out if it is or not. Next up, the Rainbow Vortexes. They're one of the oldest teams in Apple's Mario Cup. They've been around for a while alongside teams like Canada Selection, so maybe the experience could show in this BU compared to a couple of newcomers in this BU. And that is an 18. That would have been enough to break the old record, and that would put them up to 2nd place. Empty Orbs now. They finish 3rd in the first event. What can they do in this second event? Not bad, but could be. By the looks of things, could be better. Empty Orbs, of course, they were one of our test teams during the entire season of the main week so far. And you can see there, Empty Orbs. That's the 3rd team. We'll put them up to 4th. We'll see how that ranks up compared to the rest. Panic Attackers are winners for the first B-Week event. Looking to continue the momentum. That looked like a pretty average one. I say better than the Empty Orbs, but don't think we're challenged for a podium. By the looks of things, maybe we could. Oh, it's just outside. They're 4th and 15. That's pretty decent, I say, for Panic Attackers. Team Parrot up next. Team Parrot. Probably looking for some improvement. They've never really had success, Team Parrot, in the Apple's Mario Cup before it became a team competition and before it became televised. The Parrot individuals have not had great success, and this did not look like a good run. In fact, is that 2 zeros? It is 2 zeros. That is a 5. Jesus, that will probably be second to last. So we probably have 15 from 16 guaranteed right now. Unless we can see some even worse runs, which, for the sake of our teams, I hope that doesn't happen. And here are the Arctic Foxes. See there, we got 15. They're tied with the Panic Attackers for 4th. So that's good for them. They would welcome the results. Egypt Pharaohs, one of our newcomer teams to this B-Week, alongside Swimes, Twisted Nebulas. I'm going to think of more. I'm sorry. But yeah. Oh yeah, and the Death Bowies as well. And Egypt Pharaoh get at 13, will put them up to 7th. No, sorry, at 12th, not at 13th. Death Bowies. Speaking of newcomers, here's another one. Well, actually, Panic Attackers are also newcomers to this. And Imperials, actually. We have quite a bit of newcomers. Actually, no, Imperials are not newcomers. The point is, Death Bowies were actually testing for Quartet Jump in the main league. So you see that bit of skills. And we get a 15. And that's a ton with Panic Attackers. Deep Forest now, pretty experienced team in the Apples Model Cup, I say. And by the way, I made a mistake. Arctic Foxes are actually below Panic Attackers and Death Bowies because of the tiebreaker, because their individuals did not get as good runs as Panic Attackers and Death Bowies' individual runs, so Arctic Foxes will be below those two. And Deep Forest get 17, which is the top of the old record, and put them up to 4th. Navy Seals. The Tour of Endurance team, they finished 4th in Tour of Endurance Season 1, of course. Big Jangus's competition. Great competition. They unfortunately DNQ for Season 2 and almost got relegated, which in the B-Week, which would have been a disaster for them. In the end, they didn't. And that's a 14 would put them up to 8th. Navy Seals, of course, running without Torpedo, who got injured in the test run of the Golden Run. He is getting recovered, though, so we hope for him to have a fast recovery. As the Black Widows go, Black Widows, they finished 5th in the first event. Looking to continue at least some decent finishes, to at least not finish in the bottom 4. I think most of the aim for these teams will be to at least not finish in the bottom 4. Of course, you want to get the auto qualify for Raptors World Cup Season 2. And that's actually third, and that actually puts them up to 3rd. That's 17. They'll be the Deep Forest in the tiebreaker. And the Swimes, one of the new teams, and that looked like a really good run. That could challenge Blue Smokes for the not only the week but for the record maybe. That looked like a really solid run. And it is 24. That is a fantastic run by the Swimes. With only one runner to go, and that's the Twisted Nebulous. What can the Twisted Nebulous do? And my boys are getting run down. Sorry. And that did not look. That looked decent, but that did not look like it could challenge for even the top half finish. I know that's at 14 to put them up to 11th. I'm sorry the graphics are so terrible. I will definitely not use them for that for season 2. But yeah, but the Swimes out of nowhere will take up the victory for Quartet Jump. Blue Smokes will take up silver, and that's their second top 4 finish in a row for the Blue Smokes, which is great. And Rainbow Vortexes, who needed a good result after a 13th place finish in the first event, gets the bronze. Congratulations to those 3 teams. As you can see, our Panic Attackers keep the lead, but Blue Smokes jump 2 spots up to 2nd. Swamps with that victory jumps 9 spots up to 3rd. Navy Seals drops down to 4th. Black Widows keeps in 5th. Those are running up the top 5. Deep Force in game 6. Empty Orbs drop down 4 to 7th. Chili Peppers drop a bit to 8th, but they're still doing decent. Rainbow Vortex jump 4 to 9th. Twisted Nebulous fall 2 to 10th. Arctic Foxes stayed the same in 11th. Death Bowies also skipped the relegation zone, getting 3. You can see in the relegation zone currently are the Skyballs and Egypt Pearls, who both fell down 4. Team Parrot and Paint Splatter. Both of those, particularly those 2 teams at the bottom, desperately need some good performances in the next 2 events to have a chance of at least escaping, because especially for Paint Splatters, who are looking abysmal.